Well, hello and welcome to Around South Jersey. Normally you'd find Jim Quinn in this position, but I'm Warren Crescenzo, and I'm actually serving as guest and host today. And I had to find a way so I wouldn't be asking questions or running to the other side of the table and answering them. So with me is Naomi Ingraldi. We're both trustees of the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society, 108 South 7th Street in Vineland. And for the next hour or so, we'll be talking about the museum and about the various events going on. Naomi, welcome.
Thank you, Warren, and thank you, Jim Quinn, for having us on your show, even though you're not here. We're thinking about you, but thank you, Warren, for stepping in and hosting as well.
That's quite all right. So let's begin. I guess as we talk about history, history's happening all the time. Each of us has a history as well. So let's begin with your history.
Okay, so my name's Naomi Ingraldi. I've been on the Board of Trustees of the Vineland Historical Society since the summer of 2020. So this is my fourth year. I am the secretary, and I'm also the acting treasurer for the Historical Society. I've seen a lot in the 4 years that I've been there, and I really enjoy serving the public and making the museum such a showpiece and such an important part of our community. A little bit about me. I still work full-time. I was born in Vineland at Newcomb Hospital, was raised in Vineland, went to Vineland schools, graduated from Vineland High School, lived in Millville, lived in Bridgeton, and now I'm back in Vineland again, and Vineland is my home. I'm looking forward to retiring at the end of the year and spending more time and more of my energy focused on the mission of the Historical Society. That's my short little bio.
All right, I guess we'll do mine.
Now it's you.
Okay, I was also born in Newcomb Hospital. And back then it was called Landis Township. That was before the incorporation of Vineland and Landis Township.
Yeah.
And attended Vineland schools, went to what was then Glassboro State College, where I started off as a music major, switched into speech and drama because my real interest was broadcasting, and they really didn't have a major at that time. After graduating, I went to WWBZ, and I worked there and on the air, morning man, telephone talk show, you name it, I did it. Even emptied the trash cans. So did sales, became program director, and for a while I was even acting general manager. But after a while I started to realize that if I kept doing this, I was going to starve to death. So I became a speech language pathologist. And I've been working in that area ever since. I'm mostly retired, but I still have one position left.
Good for you.
I've been with the museum now, I guess, about 3 to 4 years. I almost don't remember when I started. But it's been a very pleasurable experience and something I hope to continue to do. We have some big plans for the museum, and we'll start to talk about them as well.
Mm-hmm. So, one of the things we wanted to share with our audience is about the board and our current status at the museum. Some of you might be aware that we had a curator, Patricia Martinelli, who served the museum since 2011. She was there for quite a while. She retired the end of January. So at this time, the museum, the Historical Society, is not open on a regular basis. One of the things we've been doing is holding monthly open houses, and they have been very successful for us, and we're going to continue on that same path. Did we want to talk about the board a little bit too, and who's on the current board?
Yes, let's do that.
So Warren is our vice president of the Board of Trustees. As I said, I'm the secretary and acting treasurer. Our president is Valerie Nyber, and our three other members of the board are Jennifer Hanley, Daniel Kuzma, and Alan Mounier. That's our current board of trustees.
And I do want to say that I've never seen a board that I've worked with which has been so exciting to work with. I mean, we have lots of things in our minds that we want to do, and of course the question is, how can we put them together and make it happen? I know I always talk about Valerie doing like 15 things at one time and doing them all very well. And Jen also has all kinds of ideas. I know she had served for a while, I think, with the Symphony Orchestra Board in Las Vegas
Yes.
one time.
Yes.
So she has plenty of ideas for fundraising and attracting people to the museum.
Event ideas. She's
Yes.
the idea person.
Alan Mounier is an archaeologist, and also he's had an association with the museum for many years.
Yes.
And Dan Kuzma is a history teacher who also has a great interest in Native American history and I guess various kinds of local history as well.
Absolutely.
So we also have a few vacancies. So
We do. We could always use
Yeah.
a few more board members. We're all a great fit. We all bring something to the table for this board. Everybody has a strength, and we're a really easy group. We get along well. We all have different opinions, but we're able to kind of talk things out, and we all bring something different and a different perspective to the museum and to the events. And I think that's what we're going to see moving forward is a variety of events, different events. One thing that's been very successful, that was Jen's idea, is the book club. And several months ago, I think it was in March, we started, she wanted to start a book club, a monthly book club, featuring local authors and books on local subjects. And it was started in March, and since March, the core group has grown. We've gotten new members. We've had some great discussions. It's also available in person at the museum, but we also do book club via Zoom, which can be a little bit challenging, but at least it's available for audiences that are outside of the Vineland area if they want to attend the book discussions.
yeah, we're slowly improving our technology so
We
we
are.
can hear everything and hopefully see everything. And
We've had a few glitches
Yeah.
along the way, but we are slowly and steadily improving that technology, that tech piece of it, to make it easier for everyone as well. So for the month of July, the book that we're going to be discussing is a book by the founder of Vineland, Charles K. Landis. He had a manuscript that was at the museum that Pat Martinelli, our former curator, discovered, and she had it published. And it's called A Trip to Mars as Told by an Eyewitness. It's a very short book, small book, kind of science fiction, futuristic. I think he wrote it in around the 1870s, kind of at the time when H.G. Wells was writing some of his science fiction books, so it was kind of a popular topic. And that's going to be our book discussion, and that is going to be on, I want to make sure I say the right date, it's going to be on Wednesday, July.
the last Wednesday in July.
Yes,
isn't it?
last Wednesday in July. It's going to be
Yes.
the 31st at 6 o'clock.
You know, I also understand that many of the things contained in the book are scientifically accurate, not just some kind of whimsical type of thing. So how he knew that information back then, or the information that was provided to him, is kind of interesting.
It is. It's kind of a mystery. I haven't read it yet. I have to get it going because book club will be in a few weeks, but I haven't yet read it to give you my opinion of the book or what it's about. But
And that will be followed by stargazing.
yes, on the museum grounds. And our background is our museum, and that is located at 108 South 7th Street in Vineland. Now, we do have some rather large lamp posts, but hopefully we can still be able to stargaze maybe out back. It won't
Yeah,
be
one of
as
the most
bright.
difficult things with stargazing these days is all the light that's out there.
Yeah, there's so much
And,
light.
you know, some's been done for security reasons and so forth, so
Yeah.
it's sad, but it's hard to find a stretch of woods at times to go out and do
Right,
that.
where it's absolutely dark. So if you are coming out to the museum for book club that night, bring a yoga mat or a chair, an outside chair for stargazing, and hopefully the weather will hold. And we'll be able to see at least a few stars and a couple constellations. Should be a fun night. It always is. We always have good conversations, good discussions. Sometimes we kind of steer off topic, but not a lot. We usually stay pretty focused on the book. One of the,
And there's some very interesting comments made by the participants as well. They talk about a number of things, or maybe a personal experience which relates to the book. So there's a lot of information provided there in that short time, and the snacks are excellent.
Yes, they are. I think there's wine too, and wine always makes everything good. We had the Palace of Depression book, The Fantastic Castle of Vineland. We did that 2 months ago, and that was great. That was a great discussion. I learned some new things.
Good turnout too,
and a great turnout for that as well. That's always been a fascinating topic in Vineland, the Palace of Depression. And I know people are anxiously waiting for that to reopen for tours. So keep your fingers crossed, hopefully, in the fall or the spring, that Palace of Depression will be reopened for tours.
Yeah, I think that maybe we should touch on membership too.
Yes. So we have lots of different levels for membership, Warren. Lucky Warren is a life member.
One of the few.
Yes, we only have a handful of life members back in the day when those were offered. But we don't currently offer life membership. But we do have lots of different membership levels. Senior citizens, that's a $20 level. Individual memberships are $35. Family memberships are $50. A patron is $100, and a steward is $250, and that's annually. June is our membership renewal month. We've had a lot of members renew. We also had a lot of new members that joined us this past year, which is also great. And we also have 2 new business memberships. That's another option for Vineland businesses, local businesses, to become a business member. We had Roan Funeral Service join us, and we also had Ace Plumbing and Heating. Those are 2 new business memberships this year. And a renewing membership is CU Morris River. So we currently have 3 business memberships that are active at this time.
Let's also touch on the what the membership gives you, because it does offer you several things.
It does. So we publish annually the Vineland Historical Magazine. It's been published since 1916. It's a compilation of stories and poetry, events, and that's a member benefit. You get a copy of the annual Vineland Historical Magazine. You can do free research at the museum, genealogy research. If you're not a member, there's a $10 fee, but as a member, that's one of the perks of membership. And with that is newspapers.com. We have access to that. Members also get member previews for special events, and there's member perks at several events through the year. It's certainly worthwhile, plus your donation does help us preserve Vineland history. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and I think it's important to mention that, we do not receive any funding from the city of Vineland. We rely on membership and donations, and Warren's going to tell us a little bit about our goal, preservation goal.
Yes, and I think right now we're going to take a break, and then we'll be back in a few minutes to talk more about the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society and Museum.
Many people treat their health like a game. With Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Just select from our specialties and schedule online, by phone, or on our app. Our entire team communicates with one another, so everyone works together on your total health. Plus, we make it even easier with all of these additional benefits. Level up your health with us. Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great health care for everyone.
C&H Disposal Service has provided customers with the best customer service possible since 1981. C&H Disposal Service provides trash removal, dumpster rentals, septic cleaning, repair and installation, septic system certifications, portable restroom rentals, and demolition. With great customer service and competitive pricing, C&H Disposal Service has you covered at the home and on the job. C&H Disposal Service. Stick with the best.
Vineland, New Jersey is a place rich in innovation and deeply rooted in hometown traditions. The city's agricultural legacy, where brands like Welch's and Progresso originated, lives on today alongside companies producing the critical pharmaceutical packaging we depend on. While Vineland continues to grow, it retains a quality of life enriched by cultural diversity and an abundance of nature's playgrounds to enjoy.
I'm Mayor Anthony Fanucci. We have something for everyone at VinelandCity.org.
Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
And welcome back to Around South Jersey. I'm Warren Crescenzo. Along with me is Naomi Ingraldi. And tonight we're talking about the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society. The museum is located at 108 South 7th Street in Vineland. And we welcome your visiting of this wonderful place. And it's kind of interesting because people who say, I've been past that building a million times, didn't know what it was, or I've never been here, or what is this place? And then they walk in and they're like just amazed.
Amazed. Or they'll say, I haven't been here since I was a child.
Right.
And they come in and their eyes light up. And one of our goals, before we went on commercial break, we were talking about preservation. And one of our goals is an expansion of the museum.
We're hoping to add about 2,000 square feet to the museum, which would also give us barrier-free facilities, an elevator, ADA-approved bathrooms, and this way, whoever comes to the museum can have access to the entire museum. We're currently 2 floors. Maybe someday might be a 3rd floor added. Hard to say what might happen there, but it's going to cost a lot of money to do this, and we're trying to raise $2 million to make this happen. It'll also create additional exhibit space and presentation space as well for our live presentations.
Yes. It's desperately needed. We are running out of space. We continue to get donations, which we're so thankful for. But we have very limited space to store things. And our biggest drawback is that we aren't ADA accessible. And that is truly a need. We do have a ramp on the front of the building, which gets you into the building. And our one restroom, which is small, I can't even call it a restroom, our one bathroom is on the 1st floor. But anybody who has a disability is unable to get to the 2nd floor because we do not have an elevator. We only have steps. So by doing our expansion and adding an elevator and giving us more storage space, a different event space, nice restrooms, a nice office space as well, that's our goal, is to really expand and make the museum accessible for everyone. And it is a big project, we realize that, but it's also really necessary.
So, how do we make this happen? We have hired a grant writer who is looking for various kinds of funding. We're also hoping that area businesses will assist us with this project. And, of course, individuals. We accept donations in any amount. Could be $1, could be $1 million if you got it, and we'd be happy to take it. And it's all good for a purpose that, will help preserve history that currently exists and also future history as well. That's one of the things, too. We want to make sure that we keep collecting things from people who I've heard stories about people throwing things away and they're worth thousands of dollars, and some have great historic value as well.
Absolutely.
And if there's something you no longer want, consider donating it to us. Once again, it's a tax deductible donation, and maybe something we can put on display someday.
Absolutely. We want to share that history and preserve the history. Sometimes people have things and they're not quite sure what they are or if they do have any value or significance in the history of Vineland. And if you are questioning that or if you are unsure, give us a call or send us an email, and someone will return your call. But we are always interested in any sort of items that relate to Vineland and Vineland's history, whether it's from long ago or even more recent, because it's all history and it's all worth saving.
History happens every minute.
That's right.
Also on the property is Vineland's first house, and
yes,
that was known as a stipulation house. So once you purchased land back then, you had to build on it. And Vineland's first house, I guess, was in Landis Park for a number of years. After I'm not sure where the original location was, quite frankly.
I'm not either.
But it was in Landis Park. I know two sisters lived there. And I guess after they passed, it was determined that it could move to our grounds.
And it was moved on a flatbed trailer.
And recently, we've had an Eagle Scout project, which did an excellent renovation, repainting. It looks like it's brand new.
Yeah, it looks really great.
Excellent job was done there.
Excellent job. And when we have our museum open houses, the first house is also open, so people can visit that. And imagine living in a one-room home. And it's in great shape, thanks to Sam and thanks to his Eagle Scout project. And we do have a nice sign out front acknowledging him. And there's information about Vineland's first house. And again, at one of our open houses, our next one is going to be on July 21st, Sunday, July 21st, from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So we hope you can stop out, tour the museum, tour the first house, and look at our beautiful gardens, which we want to talk about next, is our gardens.
But before we go there, prior to the 1 o'clock opening for the open house, we'll have at 12 o'clock the reading of a children's book, Dr. Welch and the Great Grape Story. As you know, Welch's grapes, grape juice, began in Vineland. Mm-hmm. Of course, so did Marshmallow Fluff. So did Skee Ball. And I also heard recently about someone from Vineland helped improve the filament that was used in Edison's light bulb.
Oh, I did not know that little tidbit. There's lots of
mason jars.
Mason jars.
I believe the church's one foundation was written here, along with Marching Through Georgia.
Marching Through Georgia, yes.
Okay, let's move on to the gardens now. This is our newest edition.
Yes.
And we're kind of excited about it because it has had a really great response from the public, too.
It really has, and it's beautified the south side of our building. So on the screen, you'll see our rain garden. This rain garden was installed last November by Rutgers and ANJEC. This was completely a donation from Rutgers. This is grant funded. Here is a beautiful photo of the Mary Treat Memorial Garden. And that, what you're looking at is the community garden with vegetables, herbs, kale, dandelion, tomatoes, and I will say the kale is ready to be picked. If anybody wants kale, please do stop by 108 South 7th Street, walk out to the garden, and please pick some kale for your dinner. So in this picture on your left is Jen Hanley, whose idea was the gardens. In the center, we have Deborah Ein. She is the editor of SNJ Today, and she also wrote the book about Mary Treat. And on your right is Meredith Koenig. Meredith is a native gardener. These three ladies have been instrumental in getting these gardens off the ground. They are standing in front of the Bog Garden. The Bog Garden, Mary Treat, who was a 19th century naturalist, did a lot in the Pine Barrens as well. And they decided to make a bog garden. Again, these are all the Mary Treat Memorial Gardens. There's another view of the community garden. That's an early view of it. So the south side of the building, across the street is it's Vineland Wrestling. It's the old Morris Fells School.
There's the bog garden.
And there's the bog garden. It has the bricks around it.
And that can include carnivorous plants.
I believe Venus flytraps
Yes.
are there, and pitcher plants, and
These are all the domesticated variety. They did not
Correct.
come from anywhere else.
correct. Oh, this is beautiful. These are some of our native plants in bloom. That's purple coneflower. We have seen wildlife. Butterflies have been coming, and that's the whole purpose of the rain garden. These are all native plants which are native to New Jersey. They attract bees, they attract butterflies, and they use the drainage from the roof. So it protects our watershed. That's part of the reason why they make these rain gardens. The water, it's watered from the rain. That's why it's a rain garden, and
the
from
land
the drainage
contours as well.
and the land contours. So this was all engineered. Like an engineer came out from
yeah.
Rutgers and did a whole site plan. I mean, this isn't just come one day and start digging with a shovel. This was a very prepared garden that was installed.
And simply stated, it's the reverse of a raised bed garden. So
Okay.
the garden sort of sinks down, and as we mentioned, the rain gutter pipes are attached to
Mm-hmm.
irrigate when there's a good amount of rain, which we certainly need lately.
We certainly do.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a picture from the installation.
Okay, that's the beginning of it.
Yeah, that was back in November. So it was a long process. But as you can see, everything was staked out, marked out where the drainage was, exactly what to excavate. It was a process that took 3 days to really prep and get ready. And then they brought the plants, all native plants, and that was planting day. And thanks to Meredith and other volunteers, oh, that's beautiful. That was in the fall. They've really took care of the garden through the winter. They labeled plants so we knew what everything was. They checked in on it. They weed. They rake. They, pick off the dead thing. They're always, they're very attentive to the garden, and it really looks beautiful. The final piece that we're waiting for is Rutgers is going to be doing a sign for it as well. So there will be a sign installed a little later in the summer, and it will talk about what a rain garden is, and it will list all the plants that are there. And once we have that rain garden sign installed, we'll make a post, I'm sure, about that and on our website so people can really come out and read the sign and see everything. But it is the Mary Treat Memorial Gardens.
And a lot of people may say, well, who's this Mary Treat person? Well, first of all, had we lived in the same era, she would have been my neighbor.
That's right.
But also, she was, I guess, pretty much a self-taught naturalist.
Self-taught woman.
She published over 76 articles and a few textbooks, I believe.
Yes, she did.
She communicated with Charles Darwin, and I think she argued with him back and forth, and I think she was right and he was wrong in a couple of
It was
cases.
about the Venus flytrap, and she was right. And he acknowledged that she was right, and he made a mistake.
And when was it now? Was it last fall? When the
Last summer. It was like just around this time in July when we had a bus trip up to the New York Public Library. There was an exhibit that they had about Charles Darwin's letters, and they borrowed some of the items we had because Mary Treat was mentioned because she was so important in the circle of scientists of Charles Darwin. So that was really a thrill to go up there and see the exhibit with our items and with her book and her letters that we have that we loaned to them, but they're letters that are in our possession. So that was great. That was great. And if you want to learn more about Mary Treat, do come to the museum. And you should buy Deborah Ine's book because it's all about Mary Treat. It's called Mary Treat, a Biography. And she was really pretty wonderful for her time and for what she did, being a woman and being self-taught.
She also wrote a children's book about Mary Treat.
Yes, Deborah.
Which we featured at one of our
events.
Open houses.
Yes, called Mary Has a Little Zoo, all about the plants, ants, and spiders. And it's a coloring book, and it's a book you can read or be read to for story time. We also have that book at the museum as well for purchase.
All right, now, moving into some other areas, throughout the years, there have been many different ideas about how this museum should be run. And it's been our collective experience and thinking that the museum doesn't really belong to us. It belongs to all of you. So the important point is that we're there as caretakers. We present ideas about the future of the museum, but a lot of it has to do with you. We want you to come there, take part in our events. If you can become a member, also donations are welcome, because this is all about Vineland's history, and as we know, many events of significance, and we're going to talk about one right now, occurred. And this was one that we were teaming up with the Greater Vineland Chamber of Commerce, and this is all about women's voting and women's rights.
Yes.
Naomi, let's talk about that.
Okay, so several months ago, we were approached by Dawn Hunter from the Greater Vineland Chamber of Commerce, and she had an idea how to honor the 172 women who voted symbolically in the 1868 presidential election.
Yeah, let's go back and touch on that a minute, too.
Okay. So what this is all about, this event. So when Vineland was founded in 1861, it attracted a lot of people that were free thinkers. It attracted people that believed in women's rights, believed in temperance, believed in abolition. So in 1868, Portia Gage attempted to vote in March. Now, everybody knows that women did not get the right to vote until 1920.
Yeah, there's something funny about that, too, because if you look back, way back, at one time women had the right to vote, they lost the right to vote. Then if you were married, you couldn't vote. The whole thing was just sort of...
crazy.
Yeah. So go on with your story.
So she attempted to vote, was turned away. So she decided in November that she was going to vote, and she brought herself and 171 other women with her to symbolically vote. They even made their own voting box, Warren, and we have that voting box. And they symbolically voted in their election election. And women's rights and suffrage was such an important piece of Vineland at that time that they voted again and used that ballot box, they said, also the following year and another year after that. So what we are doing in September, the Chamber of Commerce and the Vineland Historical Society is presenting a voting reenactment on Friday, September 27th from 10 o'clock till 6 p.m. You can come to the Historical Society and vote for yourself. We will have the original ballot box on display, and we also have a replica that we will be using to vote. And you can learn about these courageous women, all 172 of them. We are looking for volunteers. We are looking for reenactors for that event.
Yes, if
as
you have
well.
special dress or a special desire to do something like that.
We would love for you to
we'd
come
welcome.
out. Send us an email if you're interested in doing that. We already have several reenactors lined up, and they have chosen their women who they are going to represent. Some of those women we know nothing about other than their name, but we do know something about a handful of them. But we want you to come and learn more about these women. On Saturday, the 28th, we will continue to vote from 9 to 12. And then in the afternoon at 4 o'clock, we're going to have a celebration event at the Savoy Inn. Tickets are on sale for that. You can purchase tickets at vinelandchamber.org, or you can call the number that's on your screen, 691-7400. This is celebrating the women of Vineland and women-owned businesses in Vineland. Of course, you have to wear your patriotic attire, red, white, and blue, for the event at the Savoy.
I think we're also going to be designing a shirt for the occasion, which will be on the online store.
That will be fun.
More will be happening.
Yes.
We'll talk about that more in a little
there
while.
There will be more. So we would love to have you come out. The event at the Savoy, again, it's $50 per person. It is a cash bar. There will be live music. There will be appetizers and a gift bag. Again, it's patriotic attire. You can register online at vinelandchamber.org. I actually just bought my tickets the other day, so I have my 2 tickets. There are also, on the Vineland Chamber of Commerce website, there are ways that you can participate or be a sponsor for this event as well. There's a variety of sponsorship levels. You can adopt a voter also, if you care to. You can pick one of the 172 women that you would like to adopt, and you can adopt a voter for $100. So there's lots of opportunities to participate and to contribute to this event.
I think it'll be an exciting event.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
I like the idea that we're having something that recreates an historic action that actually created a national reaction.
Absolutely.
Because what happened in Vineland was then suddenly read about everywhere, and Susan B. Anthony was involved, and we also had a women's voting league, I think,
Yes.
established. I forget the exact date, maybe a couple of years before this actually happened.
Yeah, Vineland was a real hotbed of activity for women's suffrage, for women's rights. And we have a display. Some of the broadsides are on display. The museum will be open that day of voting, so you can come in and you can learn a lot about history that took place in our hometown. It's pretty amazing.
And it'll be open for self-tours as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll answer questions as best we can.
Yes, yes. So we'd love to have you come out and vote. Women can vote. I guess men can vote that day. We're not quite sure, though.
Yeah, we're not quite sure about that, but women get a button when they vote.
Yes, women do get a button.
I don't know what men get.
I'm
Probably
not
a hard
sure.
time.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because that's what happened to the women way back
That's right. That's right. But
and it's interesting. Back in 1868, some women dressed up as men to try to get to pass
absolutely
to vote.
We have 2 dress reformers who were among the voters, Mary Tillotson and Susan Fowler, who both believed that in women wearing men's trousers, and they did. So we actually have somebody who's already a reenactor who is going to be Susan Fowler, one of the dress reformers. So she will be there in pants. So that will be fun.
I think it'll be a great Friday and Saturday of events, and we certainly invite your participation.
Absolutely.
Whether you're in Vineland or out of Vineland doesn't matter.
Save the date for September 27th and 28th. Put it on your calendar. Make it a point to come by, cast your ballot, visit the museum, and tour the gardens.
All right, I think it's time to take another break. And then we'll be back with more regarding the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society and Museum.
Hey, check this out. Hernia repair. Ain't nothing, man. Kidney surgery. That's nothing. Gallbladder removal.
That's nothing. Spinal repair. I don't see nothing.
Exactly.
Minimally invasive robotic surgery at Inspira Health. scar so small, it's almost like nothing ever happened.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
When it comes to expanding opportunities, think Vineland, New Jersey. Through a collaborative approach that builds partnerships, we are changing the landscape of Vineland. There's much to be proud of. Good schools, safe neighborhoods, and a welcoming spirit where families can grow and where businesses can locate, innovate, and succeed.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org.
Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Hello, I'm Warren Crescenzo. Along with me is Naomi Ingraldi, and our topic is the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society, located at 108 South 7th Street in Vineland. Let's touch on the website, too. It's discovervinelandhistory.org, and if you'd like to call us and leave a detailed message, 856-691-1111. Pretty easy number to remember.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's been that same number forever. Our website also has a list of all our events, Warren, that are upcoming, and there's also some past events on there, as well as articles from our board historian, which is Dan. His current article is in celebration of Caribbean Heritage Month, and it's posted on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, please do. We're on Facebook, and we are on Instagram as well. Our website also has events listed, and one of our signature event is our Vintage and Variety and Poultry and Egg Festival, which will be happening on Saturday, September 7th this year at 9 a.m. Vendor spots are still available. Nonprofit organizations are free. Otherwise, it's a $25 registration fee for a 10 by 10 vendor spot. You bring your own tent, you bring your own table, and your own chairs. We don't supply that. I believe at the last count, we had close to 30 vendors signed up for this year's event. So we're getting full, which is great. Hopefully the weather will be nice as well. You can sign up. There's a QR code, or you can go on our website, or you can find our event on Facebook as well for the Poultry and Egg Vintage and Variety Sale. This is for vendors, crafters, artisans, yard sale items, resellers,
Charitable groups,
anybody. It's open to everybody. So hoping that we'll see you there.
Yeah, and also our celebration regarding the poultry and egg industry, which was once very huge in Vineland. Vineland was known as the egg basket of the East for so many years. And of course, the historical significance too is that many of the Jewish folks who were escaping Nazi terrorism came here and became poultry farmers.
Poultry farmers.
And, many became very successful with it, and many moved on into other successful areas as well.
You're saying that, Warren, and you're reminding me, in the month of September, our book club is Speaking Yiddish to Chickens, and that is about a group of Holocaust survivors who came after the war and started poultry farms. And that's going to be our September selection for book club, Speaking Yiddish to Chickens by Seth Stern.
He's a very interesting presenter as well.
He's very good.
So it's very worthwhile to attend either on Zoom or in person that day.
Yes, he's spoken for us before about this book when it first came out, and it's fascinating, this slice of history that it was a little before my time, but how it had such an impact on Vineland and on the region, the whole egg industry.
Well, it wasn't before my time. But anyway, I mean, the poultry and egg industry was huge when I was growing up. And then all of a sudden, it sort of just vanished.
Yeah.
I heard it had something to do with feed mills in the South who could produce things much cheaper. I'm not sure we ever get the total story about that. And it's hard work, too. And, it's not very pleasant to operate one of those operations.
And I think the prices went down because then supermarkets, it just the whole how everything changed. Everything went from mom and pop grocery stores to supermarkets. So then it changed how the eggs would be distributed and how everything went into mass production, where these small poultry farmers, they just couldn't compete. Kind of sad in a way.
And from what I've heard, our eggs were of very high quality. They were they were candled well, they were produced well, the chickens were fed well, and it was a high quality product.
Yeah. So that's our, the Poultry and Egg Festival was held in Vineland in the 1950s, and it was a great celebration. It was town-wide parades. They made the biggest omelet in the world and the world's largest frying pan.
Yes, and nobody knows where they are these days.
Yes.
The omelet, of course, we ate it. But
I think the frying pan, they said, got melted down or something happened to it. But, they really celebrated the poultry and egg industry, so much so that it was a town-wide event. There was little recipe books published with recipes for poultry and eggs, so... we're kind of paying homage to that event by doing this Vintage and Variety Sale Poultry and Egg Festival on Saturday, September 7th.
We're going to have an eating contest this time, too?
I am not sure. Last year we had a chicken wing competition, which was a lot of fun. And they had the different fire companies made different chicken wings, and then they voted for who made the best chicken wings. So that was fun last year. I'm not sure what this year has in store, so stay tuned. We'll see what we're going to do this year.
Yeah, it's a possibility. We're still working on that one.
Exactly.
Okay, what else do we have at the Historical Society? Well, in the very front of the building, we have a mini library.
Oh, the little free library.
Yes. So you can borrow books, or you can take a book and keep it, or you can drop off some books.
Our little free library, and it does get replenished quite often. I didn't realize that there was a nice man who comes every week or so, and he's always putting new books in there because he believes children should read and read good books and learn about the world. So stop by, get a book, bring a book, read a book, replace a book. Whatever you want to do, it's right in front of the museum. Again, it's not locked. It's a little free library. I don't think we have the seeds, though. I see this sign was Little Free Seed Library. I don't believe we currently have seeds in there. It's only books at this time, Warren.
Yeah, since we're working on donations, It's hard to tell what's going to be in there. Just
Yes.
make sure everything's appropriate for the right age groups.
Yes, there's a lot of children's books in there, so please come and get some. And stop by and pick some kale because our community garden is in full bloom. So I know they posted it on Facebook that there's a lot of kale and how to harvest the kale. So if you like to eat kale, please come by and stop in at the community garden. You don't just bring a bag and you can cut some kale and take it home for your dinner.
Yes, that's the whole point of a community garden, that it's
To
available
share.
whoever might want to take some.
Exactly. And if you stop by, you can feel free to pull a few weeds if you need to also.
And we'd welcome that as well.
Yes, we would, Warren.
Just make sure you know the difference between a weed and a plant.
Yes,
That's the important
yes.
thing.
Just pull the weeds, please. But let's see, what else do we want to wrap up with, Warren? I guess just so everybody knows, we are open once a month for our open houses. Our next open house. Oh, we didn't talk about our school tours.
Oh, yes, that's something we've resumed this year, was the school tours.
Yes.
Fourth graders from Vineland schools. And really, I guess it would be open to any school that wanted to attend.
Any school, if you are a teacher and you want to bring your class out, please give us a call. This is the group from Sabatera School. They came in the month of April. I think they were there in April. And they look at their faces. They had a ball. That's posed in the great room on the steps leading up.
And as you can see, the steps are a work of art, too. So we wouldn't want to do anything to change the appearance of the steps.
Absolutely not. It's just beautiful. So yes, school tours are back in force. We'll be sending something out soon to get ready for the next school year. I know it's only after the 4th of July, but we're starting to think about the fall and the spring.
Well, you really have to.
We have to. And I know the board discussed having the school tours throughout the school year. We do them on Thursdays, and we welcome you, if you're a teacher, to please drop us a line, and we would love to have you in your classroom come in.
Yes, wherever you may be, feel free to contact us, and we'll look into setting up a school tour for you.
Absolutely. We would love
I know
that.
it's part of the fourth grade curriculum in some places, but
Yes.
I guess maybe not all schools.
And one of the other things we did in the spring and the fall, Warren, is we partner with Siloam Cemetery, and we do our Siloam Cemetery walking tours. And these are fabulous. Here's some photos of when we did it in the fall. We start at Charles K. Landis's grave, and then we tour the cemetery. We look at some notable Vineland graves, and we also go into the chapel. And Chris Mohan, there he is with his top hat on, is the best tour guide because he has so much knowledge about Vineland, about the cemetery, about who's buried there.
And an excellent way of presenting it as well.
Oh, he's
also a teacher, so
yes,
it does help.
Yes, it does help. We are planning a Siloam Cemetery tour on Friday, October 25th. It will be a twilight tour, and it will feature true crimes. And this is with the Halloween and spooky spirit. That's Friday, October 25th, a Halloween tour. Oh, and this is from our website.
Yes, and also if you have ever been to the museum and sign our guest book, you can be placed on
our mailing list.
Mailing list.
Yeah, on our email list. And you will be kept abreast of current events, of what's going on, of some interesting information. You can also visit our website, discovervinelandhistory.org, and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We do a lot on social media as well.
All right, I think we can take one more break, and then we'll be back to wrap things up.
When it comes to expanding opportunities, think Vineland, New Jersey. Through a collaborative approach that builds partnerships, we are changing the landscape of Vineland. There's much to be proud of. Good schools, safe neighborhoods, and a welcoming spirit where families can grow and where businesses can locate, innovate, and succeed.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org.
Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Hey, check this out. Hernia repair. Ain't nothing, man. Kidney surgery. That's nothing. Gallbladder removal.
That's nothing. Spinal repair. I don't see nothing.
Exactly.
Minimally invasive robotic surgery at Inspira Health. Scar so small, it's almost like nothing ever happened.
Many people treat their health like a game. With Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Just select from our specialties and schedule online, by phone, or on our app. Our entire team communicates with one another, so everyone works together on your total health. Plus, we make it even easier with all of these additional benefits. Level up your health with us. Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great health care for everyone.
Welcome back. Our topic tonight is the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society. Our museum is located at 108 South 7th Street in Vineland, and we welcome your visit. We don't have regular hours at this time, but we'll be talking more about that in just a couple of minutes. With me is Naomi Ingraldi, also a trustee at the museum, and we're all very excited about the changes that are occurring in the museum and the upcoming events. We certainly hope you'll like to be a part of it.
We sure do. We are working very hard to update some of the exhibits. We are looking to refresh things a little bit at the museum. We are holding monthly open houses where you can come in, do a self-guided tour. The trustees will be there to answer any questions that you have. We have a lot of upcoming events. We have a lot more in the planning stages as well. We've had a great success this year with our events, with the community gardens, with our tea party. We had a Asylum Cemetery tour in the spring. We're going to do another one in the fall. We had our famous tea party, which was sold out, and we're looking to do another tea party around the holidays. Our big event that's coming up in September is our partnership with the Vineland Chamber of Commerce for the Women of Vineland voting event, which is a 2-day event, a voting reenactment, and then the next day there'll be a reception at the Savoy to honor Vineland women who are currently in business. So we have a lot of good things on our plate, Warren, and I think the Vineland community is very receptive to the changes, and we want to see more of you, and we want to have you come out to the museum. We want to meet you, hear your stories. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we do not get any funding from any government. We do not get funding from the city of Vineland. We exist on membership, on donations. And we have big goals for the museum, as Warren talked about earlier, about expanding the museum. We're currently working on our application to be designated as a historic landmark. That should be wrapped up pretty soon, and we're going to get ready to submit our application.
It's been a long time coming.
It sure has.
It should have been there years ago.
I know.
I mean, there are so many things that would place us on that register.
Yes.
It's just been
It's been a process.
Time, yeah.
Just a difficult process trying to get it done, but we're almost there. And once we have that in place, then, we will be open. It will open us up for more grant opportunities and hopefully for our expansion, which is our goal, our long-term goal, to expand our building and make it handicapped accessible, ADA accessible. So we have a lot of good things going on.
Let's touch on these tea parties. They have been so successful.
Oh, my gosh.
And people really enjoy them so much.
They really do, Warren. The one we had in April was called Springtime in Paris, and it was sold out. Of course, we had a waiting list. They've been a lot of fun. Who doesn't want to get dressed up and put on your hats and your dresses and come out and drink tea? We're going to be doing another one at the beginning of December on Sunday, December 8th, maybe. I don't know if that date's right. It's the first Sunday. Second Sunday in December.
And also, we're working along with the old-fashioned Christmas celebration as well.
Yes. So the old-fashioned Christmas in downtown Vineland, that's going to be that same weekend on that Friday and Saturday, and then our tea party is going to be Sunday. So you have a whole weekend full of Vineland events to attend. So it should be a lot of fun kicking off the holidays.
Yeah, and history doesn't have to be so-called stuffed shirt.
Not
it can be
at
a lot
all.
of fun.
It is
can
a
be
lot of
interesting
fun.
to learn. As a matter of fact, we've talked about the school tours, and we talked about some of the reactions the kids have said. They fill out a little paper when they're done with their response to what they enjoyed about the museum. And one thing really tickled me. One kid said, "It's nice seeing how the old stuff works."
Yeah, they're amazed when they see things, especially the first house, because we tell them, can you imagine you and your family living in here? And they look around and it's like, well, where's the bathroom? Well, there isn't one. Where's the shower? Where's the closet? So it's a lot of fun doing those school tours. Children are just so naturally curious, and it's a great place for kids to come learn.
And we need to present it while they're young, because sometimes when you reach later in life, it's like, who has time for it, or who cares?
Exactly.
And let's face it, as we've learned so many times, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat the bad stuff.
Right. That's right.
And it happens quite often.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Let's wrap things up with what we're talking about here, the location once again, and the website.
So, the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society at 108 South 7th Street. Our website is discovervinelandhistory.org. Our phone number, 856-691-1111. Our next open house is Sunday, July 21st from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we hope you will stop out. We would love to see you. We would love to meet you. And come and see our beautiful museum all about Vineland.
By the way, it is the oldest in New Jersey, too.
Yes,
the oldest
it is.
local museum in New Jersey.
Yes, it is.
Founded 3 years after the city itself.
That's right.
So.
Something to be proud of.
Well, we thank you very much for watching. We'd also like to thank Quinn Broadcasting for giving us this time. Also, George for producing the program this evening.
Thank you, George.
And we look forward to your visiting the museum. Remember, it's 108 South 7th Street in Vineland. Give us a call if you'd like to visit. 856-691-1111. Visit our website or social media pages, and we'll be very happy to answer any questions. If you're interested in research, we can do that as well. So on behalf of the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society, thanks very much for watching.
Thank you.
This has been a QVC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QVC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QVC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.